Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Guillermo with Live Trading with Guillermo. Hopefully the video records okay. There might be a little bit of a lag, so I apologize for that. Um, so I did something. So as you know, you've seen me trade. Um, got serious back in November when I purchased the Auto Ripper Pro. Uh, then I got it. Then I got it as a bundle with the Power Ripper Pro. Auto Ripper. Um, Auto Ripper Pro is my favorite. It's my go-to. Power Ripper with the multiple instruments, I never got into it. I just didn't spend the time to make it work for me. I know it's a powerful software, but it seems like I always went to the Auto Ripper Pro. I just like the way it worked, and I was so used to it that I was just so comfortable using it that that's all I wanted to use. So, uh, but as you've seen over time, I've been pretty successful. Got my funded accounts, um, been using my own profits, things like that. Then something happened. You won't believe it, but I've been keeping this under wraps. But a couple days ago, I got the RipperX Reloaded. Okay, so um, this is not just it's not an upgrade to the RipperX. This is an actual new bot. So it's totally upgraded uh, than the RipperX, and it's just above and beyond the Power Ripper Pro. Now, don't get me wrong; those software they're pretty incredible. They have a lot of power behind them, but this is like next level, and I'm still learning it. So uh, I decided that I would kind of be testing it for you, so you can see how it works and what I'm trying and my different settings. So the first thing I noticed is that, which is pretty cool actually. So you've seen in the Auto Ripper Pro and Power Ripper Pro, where you have the DRAM, where it'll go, let's say it's going a certain direction, and the market turns on you, and it'll stop and reverse and do that for you. Well, with the RipperX, when you have your first target and your second target, with the RipperX, you can adjust each one individually. So when DRAM kicks in, let's say you have 4 at entry. You can tell it, okay, when it adjusts, I want to adjust it by 4. And then your runner, let's say you have 2, because you want to keep that 2-to-1 ratio, right? So let's say your runner is 2. But you can tell the system to say, hey, when this happens, I want the runner to become 4, because you want to catch up with what you had just lost in that previous trade when it reversed. And it makes it easier to catch up because you're adjusting those contracts. So you can adjust it any way you want. So you can adjust the first and the second. Okay, you can turn off stop and reverse, and basically those targets are like independent of each other. So you can tweak them the way you want, which is pretty cool. So the video that I'll post for you today includes some of my trades. It made over, gosh, I should know because I just did it like minutes ago, but I think it was like $2,600, I think, but don't quote me on it. So I'm running 6 contracts, 4 at entry and then 2 for the runner. So that's 6. I have the stop and reverse on, and I have a 4 and a 2 adjustment. So it'll just adjust at the same level as my entry. So I did not bump them up, but you could if you wanted to. Okay, so pretty incredible. So you guys have seen me trade. I've been saying that I'm going to shoot for like 500 to 1,000. With this software, I'm actually going to bump that up. So my goal is going to be to do about a $1,500 average day. So that's next level. Okay, so that's minimum. So today is definitely higher than that. Tomorrow could be 1,000. The next day could be, next week it could be 3,000 or 4,000. It doesn't matter. But the idea is that I'm going to average, or I want to average, I should say. I want to average 1,500 a day. So that's my new goal. I bumped it up from what I was previously doing, but this is definitely next level software. So I have my browser on here so you can check it out. ToTrade.io. You can go right to their website Of course, we can do a webinar if you want to. Um, and I'm wondering if there's softwares in here. Yeah, so you can see the the the, their suite of products. I don't know all of them. Okay, guys, I do not own all these. Like this is the RipperX that I'm talking about, but uh, there's bot networks, volatility chaser. I've seen the videos for this one, and I almost got this one, but I went with the RipperX Reloaded, which is it's just next level. But the volatility one looks cool on videos. So and this other one over here, the shot bots, I have no idea what it does, and I would love to see a video on that or a demo, but that's way beyond my reach right now. But maybe someday. All right. So what I decided to do is, since I'm kind of testing this for you and testing it for myself because like literally just got it, um, I wanted to kind of take it for a test drive, right? So what I did, and I'm gonna scroll down here so you can check it out. And I'm gonna move this off screen for a sec because it's kind of in the way. Here we go. So what I did is I went to the big boy, which is right here. See this account right here? I'm going for the Big Daddy. All right. So it's a $300,000 funded account. You get 35 contracts, 70 micros, excuse me. Profit goal of 20,000. Okay, which is a lot. Okay. You have 30 days, just like any other account, but you have to trade a minimum of 10. All right. So if we did the minimum of 10, I have to make 2,000 a day. Did more than that today. But I'm shooting more for that 1,500. So I'm shooting more for like 15 days, something like that. I don't know what the math comes out to, but yeah, about 15. So definitely within the trial period for the challenge. It's got a trailing threshold of 7,500, which is important, okay? Because as you saw in the stop and reverse, when it first takes it, and because it is basically doubling up, or however you set it up, I have it as doubled. So it doubles the number of contracts. So it went from 6 to 12. When you're running 12 contracts, um, that's a lot. You got to have a cushion in your trailing drawdown. So 7,500 is, that's about where you want to be. You don't want to be at like 2,500 just because when it makes the change, the trailing drawdown might not be good enough for this many contracts. Okay, for 6. Now, if you were running it with like 3 contracts, maybe you could certainly do it. But I'm doubling up because I just want to go to that next level of trading. So for now, I'm trading on a prop funded account. I may switch to my own personal account with the RipperX Reloaded. But for right now, I'm kind of testing it for you. I'm testing it for myself and just see how it works because I'm still learning it. Like literally just got it and got it set up, and I did some simulation trading just to see kind of how it works. And there's all kinds of settings you can tweak, and I haven't figured all that out. So I figured this would be a good way to kind of do that. So $300,000 account, that's what I would. If you got the RipperX Reloaded, I would say go for the big boy if you can afford it. It's $657 a month, but I have a coupon for that. It's like half off. So I figured, hey, that's a pretty minimal risk. About $325, something like that. Um, to give this a go, and you're gonna see the trade pretty incredible. I'll post it. It's shortened because I think it took me like over 10 minutes to trade this morning because the market was a little bit slower. I got in a little bit late. I don't know if you were watching the market today, but it rallied. It was way up there, and then there was a down move, and just when I happened to get in, it was making a move, and I turned it on, uh, and it picked it up. And you'll see how the software works, but it was actually pretty cool. So even though the background was purple and it was a down trade, right? So it would take that, and then it would immediately take the next trade going the opposite direction. Even though the background was still saying that it was going down, it took a long position and it won. And then it would take the next trade and it would totally be different background, and it would take, it was kind of cool because it was taking basically like it knew, like, oh, it's going down now, but it's going to go up and I'm going to take it. And it took it. It's pretty crazy. It did that like 2 times, I think, during my trading session. Like it just knew where to go. I don't know how it knows. Um, I'm assuming it's the speed of how the bars are closing in the background, and it must have all this like AI logic thing going on. That obviously I don't know anything about that, but that's just my guess. Anyway, it took him, and it was pretty successful. The DRAM did kick in on the very first trade, um, so it had like a small loss, but then it recovered. By the time the trade closed, it was in the positive. Not a huge positive, but it was in the positive. And then it took the trades after that. Once I got into that almost 3,000, um, then the bar closed. You know how it closes a little bit less than that. Um, then I stopped the automation because I figured I was done. Because you don't want to get greedy because it will start to consolidate. Danny provided a training video to the members a while back, and he says, the market goes through a period of, consolidation where you see this starts to build up and it goes boom, it'll go up or it'll go down, right? And I happened to catch it on the way down, but like I said, once you take your profit, just be done with it. So I'm pretty excited. RipperX Reloaded took it for a spin today, and I did it. So I'm gonna put a screenshot of my Apex account, um, so you'll see today's profits. I turned it back on again, which you're not supposed to do. Okay, I went against my own advice. I took short profit, like another $300 or something like that. Not a lot. So I got it to like 2,900 for the day, but don't do that. Once you reach your goal, please stop. Okay, don't do a Guillermo, and because you don't want to do that. Just stick to your goal, and once you reach it, please stop. Okay, so I'm going to put a screenshot of that, and then I'm going to switch over to the video. It's compressed, 2 minutes, and then that's it for that. So, man, I know I'm pretty psyched. So I'm kind of a geek that way, I guess. I don't know, but I went for it, and so far I'm happy that I did. Like I said, this is next level software. Um, it's an upgrade, most definitely, from the Auto Ripper Pro, excuse me, Power Ripper Pro. I do not know how it compares to the Volatility Chaser. I'm thinking this is a next tier level above that, but I don't know. And then, as you saw on the True Trade site, uh, you know, there's other bots and bot networks that I do not know anything about. So if you have any questions about that, you can contact the folks at True Trade. But that's it, guys. Thank you. So you know, let's uh, let's keep going. So Monday we'll fire it up again and go for it. Now, does this mean that I'm gonna give up on my Auto Ripper Pro? Absolutely not. Because as you saw, I have funded accounts that are smaller, $50,000 range. Um, the Auto Ripper Pro, I think, might be maybe more appropriate for that. I definitely have used it for that, and I've been successful. Um, could I use the Reloaded on the smaller 50K account? Maybe. I haven't tested it yet. I think I can shorten the number of contracts so it can adjust. You could probably even use micros, so you could use it to its full capability. So I'm gonna test that out for you guys too, so you can kind of see it to say, hey, it doesn't have to be full contracts. It could be smaller. So I'll test that for you as well. But for myself, I am going full contracts. I'm gonna go for 6, 4, and 2, which maintains that 2-to-1 ratio, which is what's recommended by TrueTrade on these software. It's meant to be front loaded, so you can take early profit when you hit that first target, and then you have a runner. Okay, so you always want to have that runner, which is what I did. But now I'm doing 2 contracts on the runner, which is going to bring in a lot more money on the back end. So with that, enjoy the video. As always, you can email me with any questions. Like I said, Reloaded is pretty new to me. So if you have questions about that, I'll do my best to answer what I can. But I'm still learning, and I'm going to continue to learn. Auto Ripper Pro, um, I mastered it, and I'm not bragging. Please don't think that. But I have used it enough that I kind of know how it works. This one is new to me, and there's no way I've mastered it. But I don't need to. Literally, I got it like 2 days ago. I simulated on 1 day, which I do not recommend. You got to do it at least 2 to 3 weeks simulation. Okay. If you're experienced, like I am with their software, I kind of know how the settings work. I used the 25 bar size, and you saw it on screen. Oh, you'll see it on screen. What I used. So I'm kind of following my previous formula, but this is next level kind of trading with this bot. So anyway, I'll stop talking. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off and switch over to the trade so you can check it out and see how it works. So I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.